From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of Evenings LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check. Not one, but 7 breaking news stories, and 1 minute ago that signals the vote is upon us. In this recording, we'll go over the fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check. That'll be the single biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel, and we'll go over what the president's doing with the vote. Wow. In the second half of this video, we go over fifth stimulus. They'll raise your benefits up a lifetime, and it'll pay you a lot more than Elizabeth Warren ever proposed. Oh boy. And then in the middle of this video, we're going to go over the big money, tens of thousands of dollars landing into your bank account, and why IRS has or hasn't given you an update about one item. And we also have some tracking on how to find that $10,000 or more. This is a big night, and this is Evenings LALATE. Everybody, it's Evenings LALATE with incredible breaking news about your fourth stimulus check in this recording. We're going to go over the monthly stimulus check, how much you're going to get, and the breaking news statements out of the Senate Democrats. Yes, the Senate Democrats spoke minutes ago, and I have the latest breaking news for you. So subscribe. This is LALATE, your 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. I'm with you all weekend long, all Memorial Weekend long, so don't leave me. I'll be missing you. So hit that subscribe button right now. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. Also like this video and consider becoming a member. Let's get right to that fourth stimulus, that monthly stimulus amount, and let's go over the bill. The bill, written by Jalapal, is a House bill that provides a monthly stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. If you're watching the show when it airs at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, jump into the live chat and get ready to vote House or Senate, but not just yet. Let's look at the Jalapal bill. The Jalapal bill provides a pandemic plus 1 year monthly stimulus check. The Senate proposal, on the other hand, provides stimulus checks from July to December. Let's go over the monthly amounts. The monthly amount from Jalapal's bill is $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. The Senate proposal, the amount is unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Wow. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. Now, Jalapal's bill is getting an interesting twist. Let's go back to that bill right now. The bill provides a pandemic plus 1 year monthly stimulus check, but that may get modified because some insiders believe the legislators may think the pandemic is over for legislative purposes, and that would ultimately result in a 12 months of stimulus checks from Jalapal's bill, which under the bill provides $13,000 compared to this. So which one do you like? Senate versus House? Senate versus House? Drop in the comments and also tell me how the weather is where you are. It's starting to cool down here in Los Angeles. I love to hear where you're tuning in from. Also tell me how the weather is and which one you like, Senate versus House. All right, let's go over everything else you need to know about this fourth stimulus check. First, who gets it? You do. So if you got the third stimulus check, you get the fourth stimulus check. Single individuals, yes. Married, $75,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Just double it. Household 4 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. Limit at a household of 4. And then if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. Wow. This is the fourth stimulus check. This is not the third stimulus check, remember. And the fourth stimulus check goes for a vote no later than July 4th. Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi represent. Remember, I'm just a reporter. They make the representations. And with that, that means the first check would be in the month of July, for the month of July. In August, for the month of August. And away we go. Is there a different check amount for different people? No. So adult dependents, minor dependents, everyone would get the same stimulus check. Is it income? No, it's not taxable. Is it taken out for child support? We don't know that just yet. But there you go. It is currently underway as a 2-bill, 2-month, 2-step process, and it may only need a vote. We'll have those details coming up in just a second with the 7 breaking news and the latest twist out of the Senate Democrats. Yeah, they're speaking out. That's coming up in just a second, but let's cut to a preview the second half of this recording. In the second half of this recording, we're going to talk about why this stimulus is going to change your life for benefits. Raise your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and Veterans benefits, and then apply a benchmark. We'll go over what the breaking news is, how a benchmark works, why this is more money than Elizabeth Warren ever proposed, and what else is in fifth stimulus, and why are Americans in a new poll by Politico confused about the fourth and fifth stimulus. That's coming up. But let's go over some big money and breaking news out of IRS as well. Big money, and it starts right now. $350 billion of it landing your city, counties, and states this week and next week, and it's from third stimulus. It's starting with rent, then utilities, then homeowners mortgage, and then homeowners utilities. So where do you get it? Get that pen and paper ready. I got a lot of money for you folks. A lot of money for you in this video. So stay with me to the very, very end because I got money across this entire video and breaking news as well. So get that pen and paper ready. First item you're going to get is some rent. I don't go less than a couple hours with viewers sending me a DM or posting a comment in the live chat, posting on the channel saying, thank you. I got $100. I got $1,000. I got money for this. I got money for that. I love that. So if you had a success story, drop the success story. It inspires me that the videos are helping you, and it inspires other people to get that money. And if you got some money, let's get you some more money. And if you haven't, now's your opportunity. You're going to get some money right now. Ooh, I went out of focus and there I came back in. So let's go over the details. You're going to find the money in 6 places. But first, what are you going to get? Rent. Rent, about $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent. So go get it. Where is it? In 6 places. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. What are you going to say? Rent assistance because of COVID. Every location has different eligibility. So you may get a no in one stop, go to the next stop. They all have their own pot of money, and go get it. There's rent, $5,000, some money for utilities, and some money for mortgage. Wow. But we're not done then yet. I got some other money for you, and it's a fortune. And it's SNAP. SNAP is money for your food. And the money for your food is administered from Department of Agriculture. Reach out to Department of Agriculture, call 211 and get connected over. What is SNAP and how much money can you get? SNAP is money for your food, and a family in Hawaii now per year gets about $16,000. Wow, why so much money? Because of 2 executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raised it up 15% between now and December for everyone. So that's a lot of money. It is. And look how we're doing. We're only 7 minutes into this video. We're flying. We are flying. 7 minutes into this video, I got you $16,000 for SNAP, family of 4 in Hawaii. And I've gotten you $5,000 for rent. Boy, so let's turn to that big other money and the breaking news out of IRS. And it starts with the first set of money, and it's coming from your state. I have one viewer who's getting $5,000 for this. This is very exciting. I'm going to go over how much it is, then how you're going to get it, and then when you're going to get it. Okay, first, how much money is it? It's a lot of money. The federal government has identified states as owing you back money. What's that issue here? States had paid you unemployment benefits, and during the process, some states had overpaid you due to computer malfeasance. The federal government said that was your money to keep. And even though the states asked you to return the money, and you did, the federal government has now ordered the states to return the money to you. Wow. There you go. So how are you going to get the money? In the bank account you have on file with your state. Then next, when you're going to get the money. Every state has a different rally time. So some states have started, some have not. Reach out to your respective state. Which brings us to the breaking news about the second group of money. That's the money back from IRS. I'm going to go over how much you're going to get, then how you're going to get it, when you're going to get it with the breaking news tonight on Evenings at LALATE, and then a tracking tool. All right, first let's go over how much this money is. One of you got $2,000. It's a lot of money. It's the taxes you paid to IRS on your 2020 unemployment benefits. All right, let's go over an example. Your 2020 taxes on 2020 unemployment benefits was $9,000. You paid $5,000 in taxes total to the IRS, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you're getting $4,000 back. All right, now let's go over the question of how you're going to get it. In the mail, you got to watch that mail for the next 2 weeks. It's a laser thin envelope, beige or white, with a beige check in there from IRS to you, subject line refund. Next, when? And there comes the breaking news. IRS had told us that everyone was going to get paid out by the end of May. Well, the end of May is tomorrow. They said that there was going to be 3 phases. Phase 1, paid last week, single filers, non-complex returns, no dependents. Phase 2, single filers, complex returns, paid out end of last week, started this week. And phase 3, joint filers, like husband and wife, paid out later this week. They said everyone was going to get paid out by the end of May, which means you could still receive checks, first week of June, second week of June. Well, a new report by the #1 broadcast financial channel today reached out to IRS for updates why it has gotten a lot of viewership of their channel, saying the broadcast TV, not YouTube, saying why have so many of our broadcast TV viewers saying they have not gotten their checks? What was the response? Silence. Yeah. So now people are not particularly happy. And if you watch me on yesterday's shows, I told you that the same department, Treasury, its head, Janet Yellen, did not appear to a House subcommittee on SBA yesterday to answer questions, and she was required to by the law. So this is getting very interesting. I'll be staying on top of the story for you, folks. Really, really interesting. But guess what? I got a tracking tool for you. So there you go. Some good news there. You go to irs.gov. Set up a username and password. Put your social security number in. Do a transcript search, searching for your social security number, and see the most recent activity. Your tax return you filed with IRS, the taxes you paid with IRS, and then the refund. And then you'll see where that refund is. All right, let's turn to the big, exciting news, and here we go. It's news from all the way from last week to just last hour. It is a lot of news, and it's heating up in just the last hour with those Senate Democrats. Boy. And so I'm going to show you the cumulative news so you see how it has built up, how it's snowballing, how the situation is speeding up, and why next week is so big across the board. All right, we're going to start with Jalapal. Jalapal is the person who wrote the bill for the House that provides the monthly stimulus checks, $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter, pandemic plus 1 year. When Jalapal wrote that House bill and introduced that House bill to the House floor, House Democrats wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to put that into the fourth stimulus package. Well, what did Jalapal do to start the ball rolling last week? Wrote this letter to the president, to the Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi saying, call the vote. What are we waiting for? Why did Jalapal write the letter? Because according to insiders, that the legislation has already been written, that they're just waiting to call the vote on the reconciliation. Wow. Now, guess who signed Jalapal's letter? Dozens of House members who are reportedly among the same people who signed the letter supporting Jalapal's bill for those monthly stimulus checks. OMG. Then it gets better. Last Friday, 7 House members wrote the president a letter saying that they're going to work with him to put the multiple stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Work with him is a euphemism because the president doesn't write law bills for the Senate or House. They do. Who are they? Who are these people? They are on the House Ways and Means Subcommittee that is tasked with the duty to write stimulus checks in all the stimulus packages. And they wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to put it into the fourth stimulus package with you. OMG. As if Captain Obvious can't be walking behind the set right now. I don't know, maybe he's tripping on the flowers. I don't see him. That's insane. And then it got better last Friday when the President of the United States came forward and said, I'm going to give it to the day before Memorial Day weekend, and that'll be the final negotiations I will have with the opposing party, with the Republicans. After that, I'll have just lunch with Jill. And that's tomorrow. So one more day of chicken and fish. No, I didn't like the chicken. Well, I don't like your counterproposal either. Then there will be done. Then he says we're calling the vote. The president said he's calling the vote. He's not going to do any more negotiations after Memorial Day weekend. Wow. And then came Tuesday. Which was really surprising. A little confusing. I got to explain it to you. And the second half of this is really interesting. Really great news. So the president's fourth stimulus, I'm going to slow this down because it's a little complicated. The president's fourth stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate, the taxes corporations pay. And it's currently 21%. The president wants it higher. He initially wanted much higher, and moderate Democrats said, no, bring it down. And he said, okay, deal. That was a month ago. So what did he do on Tuesday? He reached out to the G7 world countries around the globe and said, I would agree with you about a minimum global corporate tax rate. What does that mean? It means that if you're a business, a corporation in New York, you would try to flee to France and put your operations in France because France is low in corporate tax rate. So by doing that, it's preventing that event. What did he tentatively get an agreement on? 15%. So that's the first part of the story. The second part of the story is just insane. The president reportedly told insiders that if he gets the forced stimulus once he gets the forced stimulus out the door and done, if he gets those G7 countries to sign on the dotted line and agree to a 15% global tax rate, then he may drop the forced stimulus's corporate tax rate lower to where it was before we signed the bill. Oh boy, is that great news. Stimulus checks and a lower corporate tax rate after what he proposed, incredible. And then came yesterday. The President of the United States got a counteroffer from 3 Republicans, which was really still a fraction of what he wanted. And he rejected it. So what happened just an hour ago? An hour ago today, the breaking news is that the Senate Democrats came out and absolutely went swinging and said, we are formally rejecting the Republican counteroffer. Time to call the vote. Wow. They said that, and then the president was making a press stop to talk about fourth and fifth stimulus, and he basically, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but he basically said, I'm done. We're calling a vote. You understand the tone I'm trying to avoid, but that's basically what he did. He said, I'm done. No more negotiations. So maybe tomorrow some chicken at lunch, and then next week it's all lunch with Jill. There you go. Calling the vote. Wow. Where are we going? We're calling the vote. That's your fourth stimulus update of 2021. Doesn't get any better than that. And it's breaking news just this evening. But guess what? There's money for you for rent. So I want you to get that money for rent, utilities, homeowners help, and homeowners utilities. And I want you to get it right now. And if you've reached out to your city, county, and state and you had problems finding it, don't worry. Reach out to the volunteers. They're viewers just like you, and they're on the community page, the Salt of the Earth. They've stepped forward to help others. So reach out to the volunteers on the community page. Where's the community page? It's in the description of this video. Open the description, and on the description of the video, you can see an emoji of a house. That emoji of a house has a web page next to it, news.lalate.com/community. Reach out to the volunteers. They're separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and they can help you get rent, utilities, homeowners help, and also that internet. And guess what? I'll be back in 60 seconds with big updates still about fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus and how it compares to the Elizabeth Warren plan. Stay with me. I'll see you in about 60 seconds here on Evenings LA. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LA, direct to you from Santa Monica. Hope you're having a beautiful evening across the board. Almost made it to the 3-day weekend. I will be here with you all weekend long. This is LA, live in the morning, taped in the afternoon. I don't want you to miss a single show, so subscribe. Also, like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Coming up after this show is Evening's Crypto, then Overnight's Crypto. And guess what? Tomorrow morning on the Overnight Show, you're going to get a sirloin throwback. I'm bringing back some of those sirloin throwbacks on the Overnight Show, so tune into that as well. And away we go into fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus heats up this fall. What is fifth stimulus? Fifth stimulus is another reconciliation process, a two-step process that starts in September. And that reconciliation process will add in not stimulus checks, but that SSI reform. Let's go over the details. First, they're going to raise your benefits up. They're going to remove the asset limit, then add an inflationary benchmark. Then they're going to remove the marriage penalty, and then they'll remove the income exclusion. So let me go over what that means. Then we're going to go over the calculation of how much you get, the breaking news of this, and why this is more than Elizabeth Warren's plan. All right, let's get to the details. First, they're going to raise up your benefits one big time under the fifth stimulus. Who's you? You. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, they're going to raise your benefits up one big time under fifth stimulus. Then they're going to apply a new benchmark, and that benchmark is inflation. Now, we all know what inflation is, but what's a benchmark? Every December, you get a letter from your benefits that says next year your benefits will be the same, or they will step up, $10. So now they're going to tie your benchmark to inflation. They look at a benchmark every December, and they decide whether to step you up or step you down. Well, here's the great news, is that most analysts believe that the inflation rate this December will be the highest of a generation. This is huge for you. I'm going to explain to you why in just a second. Jerry Siegel, for example, 2 weeks ago said maybe the inflation is 20% in December. The head of the Federal Reserve out of Georgia said 4% of growth right now, maybe 10.5% by December. That looks like 7% inflation. Analysts have been talking about 4 to 7% inflation. Let's use 6 as an example. Let's use 6% inflation and see how this changes you for a lifetime. Wow. So they'll first raise up your benefits on the fifth stimulus. Then in December, they're going to look at that benchmark. Let's say the inflation is 6%. If it's 6%, they'll step you up 6%. But not just for next year, lifetime. Because that's how a benchmark works. Once it steps you up, it never steps you down. So if in a year after this, the inflation is 0, you don't step down. You always stay at plus 6%. If the year after this, the inflation rate instead is 2%, you step up another 2%. 2% plus 6%, a lifetime you would get. There you go. This is why this is huge. You want to be tied to inflation because this would be the highest inflation in nearly a generation. And once you step up, you never step down. Wow. So let's go over what else is in that SSI reform. They're going to lift up the asset cap. The asset cap is dating back to 1980s law, which is going to go away. It says you can't stay on benefits and have more than about $3,000 in your bank account. Good to get rid of that before those stimulus checks come. Then they're going to remove the income cap. It says you can't work and stay on benefits. So they're going to remove that, and you'll be able to work if you want to work, $1,000, $2,000 a month. And then finally, they're going to remove the marriage penalty. Thank goodness. What's the marriage penalty? It says you can't get married or you lose benefits. It's awful. So they are going to get rid of the marriage penalty. Love will win. You'll be able to marry your long-time love interest and still have benefits. And if you have been married and have been penalized because of it, you'll no longer be penalized. There you go. That's fifth stimulus. How does it work? Two-step, 2-month process. Start September, likely to impact your benefits around like a November. And then that step up in December letter for next year. Wow. Now let's compare that to Elizabeth Warren. It's a lot more money. Why? Because Elizabeth Warren was not going to use a benchmark of inflation. She was going to use CPIE. And inflation is generally a lot more money. And once you step up, you don't step down. You want to be tied to the highest benchmark now, because once you step up, that is your benchmark for the rest. That is your new price for the entire lifetime you're here. You'll never get worse. You'll either be that or more. Also, Elizabeth Warren didn't have all these other provisions like the marriage penalty elimination, which is huge. So there you go. That is fifth stimulus. Really exciting news across the board. Now, it's important to understand, is there other stuff in fifth stimulus? There is. There's a lot of other stuff in fifth stimulus. The fifth stimulus, the president calls it as the American Family Plan. But it's not just about families. There is money in there for single individuals. There's money in there for bachelors who are hazard pay workers. There's money in there for retirees who are single. So there's a lot of other money in there for FIST stimulus. That's why it's very helpful to consider becoming a member. The member link is at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. As a member, you get daily a list of the items that are in that are in the fourth, third, and the choking stimulus packages. Every day you get a list of the PDFs that are actually in the stimulus packages. And it's important to understand that it's very complicated when you're looking at stimulus packages throughout the year that they overlap. Here's an example. You may look at the Biden fifth stimulus and say, it's a family plan. I'm not a family. There's money in the fifth stimulus for single individuals. So by becoming a member, the links at the top of the chat and the pinned comment, you have a daily list sent to you of what's in the third, fourth, and fifth stimulus package. Moreover, a new report from Politico detailed that of people who support the president who are Democrats, 50% of them had admitted no idea of what's in the fourth or fifth stimulus package. And the remainder of them that did know about the fifth stimulus package or fourth stimulus package said they knew very little. That's why information is king. I want you to know this information. Moreover, it's important to understand that going into July, it's a complicated month. July has no less than 3 different things happening that month. And you could look at the month of July and totally get confused. Here's an example. The fourth stimulus checks of July go out in the month of July. Guess what else goes out besides those fourth stimulus checks in July? The third stimulus checks. Third stimulus checks are for children. Fourth stimulus checks are for everyone. They're different stimulus checks. Also in the month of July, there's a budget bill. The budget bill may look to you like it's a stimulus package bill. No, that's the budget bill. So you don't want to get confused because there's so many items happening at the same time. And that's why at least subscribing is helpful. It's also important to understand that Jalapal, for example, has a lot of standalone separate bills that have nothing to do with stimulus checks. So you don't want to be looking at the wrong bill or look at the wrong provision. Moreover, you don't want to miss money. Who wants to miss money? Who wants to think that fourth stimulus is third stimulus and miss the fourth stimulus because you're thinking about third stimulus? There you go. I make it easy breezy by breaking it down for you at a minimum because of subscribers, so you see these details. Meantime, what is not in the fourth stimulus? What is potentially added to the fourth stimulus? And what could be the big push for fourth stimulus? Let me go over those details. First, rent, eviction, moratorium, mortgage forbearance going away. They're likely not coming back into the fourth stimulus package. So that's why I want you to get that money for rent and utilities. The eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance is not coming back. So I want you to get that money for rent and utilities now because it won't be offered again. Next, those 7 House members who wrote the president a letter saying we're going to put those stimulus checks in there, guess what they also said? We're going to put an extension of federal unemployment benefits into the fourth stimulus package. Wow. Now, yeah, the House Ways and Means Subcommittee is responsible for unemployment benefits as well. So they have the authority to do it. But which ones are they going to do? I don't know. It's a very fluid situation, so we're going to watch it. Is it FPUC? Is it PUC? Is it PUA? We don't know. Are they going to switch it from voluntary to mandatory? It's very exciting news, so I'm going to stay on top of it. Meantime, why do legislators like stimulus checks? It's now apparent why they really like it. As America gets back to normal, as the pandemic is ending, as we understand that we're trying to seek some normality back in our lives, one thing may not be normal, and that is debt. People have debt left over from the pandemic, and Congress wants to eliminate that debt. They want you to be back to normal and your bank account back to normal. And that's why they universally believe that stimulus checks is the instrument to do it. A fast, quick infusion of cash to wipe away that debt. Senate proposal in front of you. Do you like it? Vote Senate if you like the Senate proposal. House proposal, $2,000. House bill, $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. Stimulus checks for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. Which one do you like? Drop in the comments, Senate or versus House. And also tell me where you're watching from. There you go. And as we go into the new week, it is going to be an exciting week. As the president has basically now said as of tonight, call the vote. Jalapal. Call the vote. Senate Democrats, call the vote. What are we waiting for? Call the vote. And finally, one message I haven't sent in the last 2 days is that these legislators don't want to stay in Washington a day later than they have to. They like to be on their vacation in July, so they can get you done in June. They'll get you done in June if they have the ability to. And yes, if they get you done in June, you could get another stimulus checks. So boy, we're going to stay on top of this, and I look forward to seeing you next on Evening's Crypto. Then overnight's Crypto. Stay informed, stay focused. Then tonight on Overnight's LA, you have a throwback show, and one of the throwback shows is Sir Lloyd. So subscribe. Don't miss a single video across this channel. Like this video and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful evening, and stay with LA for more.